Yahoo News, 11th of April 2023, as China caves, Australia suspends its WTO complaint against China about barley tariffs. In the latest move by the new administration to mend fences with Beijing, Australia deferred a complaint to the World Trade Organization to reopen the Chinese market to Australian barley for the first time in 3 years, and China retreated. After the previous Australian government enraged Beijing by demanding an independent investigation into the causes and solutions to the COVID-19 outbreak, Beijing effectively shut its doors to Australian barley in May 2020 by imposing an 80% tax. The previous Conservative administration replied by contesting the tax before the trade organization based in Geneva. In a statement on Tuesday, Penny Wong, the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Australia's centre-left Labor Party, claimed that an agreement had been struck with China that creates a pathway for the resolution of the dispute over Australian barley. She stated that China had consented to evaluate its grain duties over 3 to 4 months, and Australia would temporarily halt the WTO case. Naturally, Wong added that we'd restart our dispute at the WTO if the duty is not removed after the review period. An inquiry for comment made on Tuesday did not immediately receive a response from the Chinese embassy in Australia. Wong claimed that compared to the WTO's proposal, the Chinese review provided a significantly shorter time frame for dispute resolution. Australian exporters of goods like beef, fish, and wood are expected to lose $14 billion annually due to legal and unofficial trade obstacles. Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell expressed the hope that the assessment will serve as a model for settling other trade conflicts with China, notably those involving wine. While Australian wine producers have had difficulty finding new customers since China introduced trade restrictions in late 2020, barley growers have found alternate markets. Australia has refuted China's allegations that it subsidised wine to export at inflated rates. The organisation Grain Producers Australia, which speaks for barley exporters, praised the new contract. According to Grain Producers Australia head Barry Large, the resolution process would go far quicker than if the WTO procedure continued. The process and chance to restart the barley trade were both created by the Labor government, which Large praised for its constructive dialogue, positive progress towards stabilising the relationship with China, and creation of this process and opportunity. The first bilateral meeting between the trade ministers of Australia and China since 2019 took place in February, indicating that relations have improved since the previous administration was overthrown after 9 years in office. During the internet conversation, Farrell accepted Wang Wentao's invitation to travel to China. There is no specific time yet. Wong made history in December by going to China for the first time in the previous 4 years, when Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese participated in the first official bilateral meeting between a leader of the Australian government and Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2016, he expressed his trade worries. Due to its urgent need for Australian coal to fuel its power plants, China recently relaxed trade restrictions on Australian coal that had been in place since late 2020.